The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties.
Beautiful entry. I love that intro. It never gets old to me. Welcome to This is Sparta, December 1st, 2022. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, Otis Wiley and Jehuu Caulcrick. How you guys doing today?
It's cold out here, man. It's cold over here.
It is cold. Straight coming out earlier and saying, man, we're feeling cold like y'all got it up there. I'm like, boy, if you don't stop that, 61 where he is, and it's no flurries over here.
The feeling's mutual. It's nothing but love over here. You got that Buffalo Bills in the background. It's not as bad as Buffalo. Don't spare me the drama. We got a very special show for you today, and we have a lot of talk. We're going to talk about transfer portals. We're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to get into the all-conference awards that were, some that weren't. But first, this message about our social media. Click on the link in the bio anywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, even TikTok. Go to that link tree, and you can find us where we can get tickets in hand. I know it's hot now for the basketball season. Everybody wants to be inside and stay out of that cold weather and get in that Breslin. Follow us, and we'll get those tickets to you. Choo-Choo's going to get those tickets to you, by the way. He can't wait to get you those tickets that you need in the Breslin Center. Ain't that right, Otis? You know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Stray's over there writing checks.
Speaking of Choo-Choo, his favorite topic, it all happened for him today. And in the transfer portal, we found out there's been a Spartan player who has now entered the portal.
First one in.
First one in. Oh, man.
Some people try to say I ran him out of town. I didn't run this boy out of town.
I think he had something to do with it.
Kind of like that.
It was more than zero.
Was that beastie field goal that he kicked at Penn State. But, obviously you wish that man nothing but success in his next endeavors. But this is kind of the first one that we've seen happen. Usually you see this happening, during season, which is actually kudos to kind of our program and kind of the sign of our culture that, none of these guys kind of threw in the towel.
To Otis's point there, though, the reason that things have been altered a bit is because the rules have changed. Players now have a designated date that they can truly identify or claim or whatever you want to call it, declare for the portal. December. They can declare December 5th for the portal. So what you're seeing now, there's a lot of activity going on. There's quarterbacks all over the country jumping in the portal. This is something that they're telling you, hey, I am going into the portal on December 5th. So it isn't something that they haven't done, like they didn't do because of like last year, people were going in the portal all the time. It's a new NCAA rule that states that you cannot go in until December 5th. So it's going to be mayhem. In about 4 days from right now, you're going to see a lot of players dipping in, going in permanently, some coming out to other schools, and some guys just going in just to get a little bit of a little tick up, almost like free agency, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. And, before, like Otis was hinting at, and I know I give this position group a lot of flack, but, I do want to thank Jack Stone for his time here at Michigan State. I think he has a lot of potential. He has a big leg on him. He showed that in Penn State. I think it was just a matter of building that confidence with him throughout the season. We didn't get an opportunity to see that. Good luck in his future endeavors. And it's taken me so much not to just have, Pete play the song, Hit the Road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, but I'm not going to do it.
Oh, man, you seem awful enthusiastic about seeing a kicker leave into the transfer portal, Choo-Choo.
No, I just find it the first person that we have in the transfer portal is a guy that possibly won back his job. by booting that big 52-yard field goal, and now he's out of the program now. So, what we need to figure it out in the special team side of it. There's no questions about it. As much as we want to joke about it, he ha ha over it, we have to get a kicker because the special teams side of it cost us games this year. We know that. So we have to figure it out, but either bringing in someone new or, hitting that transfer portal and getting a kicker that can come in and get the job done. And, be a sure thing, not a topic. If you don't talk about a kicker, that means they're doing their job. And so that's what we need, going forward in the program.
Absolutely. Got to have it. And going on into the players who have been selected to do some postseason all-star games. Look at Jaden Reed and Bryce Behringer going to the Senior Bowl, man. This is huge. Bryce Behringer and Jay Reed, Reese's Senior Bowl.
Yeah, the Reese's Senior Bowl is that is kind of I would say not Taj Mahal, but the ultimate end goal for any player that plays at this level is to get that invite. And so, the best part of that whole week is that those guys have put together a high-profile career and highlights and put a track of, product that, they already kind of have their evaluation. And then this is the opportunity for that whole week is to truly go through, work with those NFL coaches and also compete with the top talent that is ready to get into the NFL draft in 23. So, kudos to them. Obviously, we'd like to have them stay healthy and wherever they do to select to train. Jehuu always says go train in San Diego. You got the Floridas of the world too, and we'll see where they land. But they're going to do a great job and showcase what they've already shown Spartan Nation and the nation that what they can do and competing on the gridiron.
Yeah. Speaking about that, Jehuu, talk about the ability for players to go to the Senior Bowl and work with true NFL coaching staffs. AFC gets to get one side, be it North or South, and NFC coaches get the other side, and they really get the first look hands-on with these players in college and see how they perform under pressure, see how they are in drills, see what kind of mental makeup they have, right?
Yeah, you're right, and this is the first opportunity for these coaches to get with these guys, work one-on-one with them, get these guys in a room, put them on the board so they can learn how it is to be a pro starting out early, as well as the terminology and the lingo in the NFL, because the play calling, so it's different. You have these opportunities where you're calling 2-3 plays in one. So you have to be attentive to those different things. And these guys have a leg up on other guys because these two are going to definitely be invited to the combine. So these guys are going to have the opportunity when they're in there working with these coaches to learn what it's like to be on the board in front of GMs and scouts at the combine. So it's a great opportunity for them to get out there and showcase their talents out there. A lot of the times it's helpful. Sometimes it's not so much helpful for a guy to play in an all-star game. But, these two guys, I don't think they're going to have any issue, playing in the Reese's Senior Bowl. And, like Otis said, that's the top of the line Senior Bowl that you can play in. Congratulations to them. Well-deserved and well-earned.
Ben Van Sumeren gets to go to the East-West Shrine Bowl. Invitation accepted by Ben, who had a phenomenal year, his first year starting for the Spartans.
Yeah, this guy is a ultimate team player, and this guy's a dude, man. I remember seeing during fall camp or summer camp him running down on kickoff. This was a specialist period, and they were going through kickoffing. Any player that has played special teams, those drills are repetitive, and this guy was beating the skill players down there first to the wedge and also to the punt or the kickoff returner time and time again as he lined up. And so this guy is going to truly, in my opinion, be a guy that's going to be a all-American, all-pro specialist if once he gets that shot. But the best thing about this game is that if you ball out this game, you may get a call to go to that top game in the Senior Bowl. People forget about that once these things are happening, you still have the same kind of pro scouts and, NFL coaches that are tapping into this game and coaching them. and he may get a call to say, hey, we need to go see you play against the top of the line talent, but this guy is a guy, man. And so he did what he could for us in the green and white, and kudos again to him, because he's going to be a stud in the next level.
Yeah, you're 100% right. This guy is going to be playing on Sundays. He's an athlete. Sideline to sideline, he's very good. He has he has it up here in the head mentally, the smarts for the game. He understands the game, and that the game can slow down for him so he can play free and loose. And also, he's a specimen. He's built really well. He's built like a linebacker. He's going to be a guy that definitely contributes to the special teams, at the next level, and that's what's going to get him, continuing years in the NFL is, his play on special teams, and then he's going to get some opportunities to get in there and play. But he's a guy that definitely going to be missed by Spartan Nation and by his teammates on the field.
Choo-choo, I thought you was going to say he was a specimen with muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle, like you said, Keon Coleman.
That's just Keon Coleman. That's just Keon
Coleman. Ben's one of those guys too, man. Ben's one of those guys.
He's a specimen, but not muscle.
Not muscle on top of muscle.
But he's got muscle, but not on top of muscle.
Right.
Okay. Duly noted. Van Sumeren, definitely a very, very good athlete, and his skill set transitions, perfectly for the NFL game, in my opinion. He's going to have a long career. And, hey, his brother is going to sit back and learn from old Big Bro, and looking for him to have a lot of success on that defensive line. Going on to other declarations to the NFL, one Daniel Barker also has now declared for the NFL draft.
Yeah, I talked about this, I guess, with us three, is that, you do wish that he had more opportunities to showcase what, he has the capabilities of being as a tight end, being at the University of Illinois. Like you said, he's the leading tight end in history for Illini football. And, probably it's tough for him to come over here and learn a whole new playbook. And so, maybe that was his Achilles heel of, taking a little bit longer time to really understand the full playbook. But this guy's an athlete, and he causes problems out there in the secondary, where we talk about tight ends having mismatch problems when you're going one-on-one in the slot, but also coming down and blocking. And so we'll see how he matches up and where he lands. And hopefully he does get an invite to one of the all-star games to showcase what he can do. But, kudos to him of, deciding to make the business move and see what he can do at the next level. I'm assuming he's going to be doing some crazy training to get ready for it. But, yeah, kudos to Daniel Barker. Appreciate what he did for us in the green and white at the short time that he was here, but kudos.
All right, going on to the all Big Ten honors category, Jehu's favorite and Otis's favorite, Cal Haladay, second team defense. When you look at the all Big Ten selection for Cal Haladay, I think he led the Big Ten in tackles, but second team for Cal Haladay.
So the thing with Haladay is if you lined him up with a bunch of linebackers in the Big Ten, to be 100% honest, you're not going to be like, this guy's going to be the one that leads the team, that leads the conference in tackles. You're not, because he's quirky, but he's a dog. He's a player. He will go out there. He can diagnose, the plays out there, and they had a good scheme that everything flowed to him. But my gripe about this is, how can you lead the conference in tackles and only be second team? All conference. That's something's going on. Either we're, as a program, are not, politicking and reaching out and advertising and showcasing for our guys, or the Big Ten just gets it totally wrong. There's no way that you're leading the conference in tackles especially at that position, and you're second team.
We all know. We talk about this. We know that success as a team, it sucks that's part of the voting and the coaches and the media. But if we were to be like bowl eligible, or if we were closer to an 8 and 4 or 5 squad, clearly that probably been a different difference maker. But this guy sees ball, eats ball, right? And it's one of those things where we call, Kyle Halladay, no gloves wearing, get strap up your boots, farmer mentality. And I honestly don't know if he truly cares about the accolades. He just loves playing football.
You care about everyone cares about the accolades. You can't sit here and say you don't care about the accolades. You care about the accolades. At this point and stuff in your career, those things mean something, especially if you want to go to the next level and play, because those things come up.
He's a sophomore, though. He's a sophomore, Jay. He's going. Look, I get it. He cares about it. Look, we can agree to disagree on this one, but he has time to grow because he does have some stuff that he has to work on. Like, he got a little bit exposed. Kyle Halladay, Kyle's staying. We already confirmed that, Stray. Like, he's staying. That's not even argument.
How do we confirm that? It ain't even December 5th yet.
This man is
you guys
not
kill
leaving.
me with this.
This
it's
man
not even
not
December
leaving.
5th. He's staying.
He's not you, Stray. He's not you, Stray. He's not
It's
jumping
not
ship.
about me. Yeah,
He's jumping ship.
He's staying. He loves the program. He's a program guy.
I'm just an offensive lineman center that was all Big Ten, even though we were 6-5.
He's staying.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
This is Kyle's.
To Jehu's point, you can't. I understand that. Yes, you want more players to get all Big Ten because you have success with your program. But when you have a guy who had so high, he set the bar so high as far as his production this year and even last year, that I think by now he deserves the nod for first team. What linebacker can you name in the Big Ten that actually outplayed Kyle Halladay this year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you.
That's the point.
Yes, we all
now the ancillary players, okay, I get it. Okay, if you're a guy who's on the border, on the bubble, maybe you don't get the nod unless you are 12-0 at this point in the season. But a Kyle Halladay, you gotta take a look at this a little harder. Maybe do a little bit more pushing. I don't know. That's something that Jehuu was talking about. Maybe they should do some more pushing for players like that. But guys, you know what's hard? Trying to deal with all the distractions that you have to deal with during the course of a season that Michigan State had to deal with this year, and still try to promote your players.
I was going to say that. We had other things, other bigger fish to fry on this thing here, priorities-wise, right?
But if I'm Cal, I'm keeping this. I'm taking a photo of this thing. I'm putting it in my room, everything like that. This is going to be motivation for next year because he got snubbed. This kid got snubbed this year. You can't lead the conference in tackles and then be second team overall. Snubbed.
I love it. Going to the next all Big Ten caliber player, you look at Jaden Reed, third team specialist. Third team, guys. So what do you say about that one, Otis?
I mean, he was hurt that foot. Half a game, the game and a half. Really, how do you even judge this? Because we know this guy's pedigree. We know this guy's track record. Maybe if he was out there on kickoff return to add a little bit more opportunities to run that thing back there. But also, you got to kind of think about our defense. Did we truly give him the amount of opportunities of 3 and outs to punt the ball to him? So, he, like I told our last episode, the 2 touchdowns that got called back, maybe that would have added more elements to it. But, it is what it is. And, Jay Reed's already mentally discussing or talking about, when he's training right now for the NFL. But third team is a huge disrespect model for that. But, I think he's going to use that to fuel his fire when he goes to the next level.
Here's one I think that we can all agree on, even Jehuu, even though this is not technically a kicker. Behringer, the Edelman Fields Punter of the Year Award, and first team All Big Ten coaches. However, second team All Big Ten with the media.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell the media was watching, or who, maybe.
Hey, the media was eating that food that you talked about in Illinois.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe the media, and that's huge. Those press rooms with the food, the drinks.
You know about that, don't you?
Everything.
That food is big. It matters, doesn't it?
It does matter. They're comfortable in there. They're eating good. They're drinking good. They're feeling good. they're gonna vote good.
So you're saying we need to improve our popcorn to gourmet burnt ends and barbecue and pizza, all that. Huh?
Yes, Illinois, they had homemade horseradish. Homemade.
Hey, Jay, what about the cookies, man? Cookies and pizza and beer.
This man said homemade horseradish.
Yes,
homemade horseradish
beer in the box, man.
Yes,
we were on the air, me and Choo Choo. They were drinking beer.
They
Given
were
to them free.
Homemade horseradish.
Homemade horseradish for those. I'm telling you, those the little things help. The media. You got to take care of the media. They'll take care of you.
Hey,
this
kudos to Pete Menez for the crack.
Yeah. This should have been a consensus. Both first team. This man bailed us out time and time again.
Oh man,
with a weapon of a leg. Like, we almost should have converted him to be our place kicker as well, just to see if he can do that, because this man was consistent every time he lined back there. That one bad botch snap wasn't his fault, but he almost clearly, if he'd have probably caught that with one hand, he would have got it off and kicked it. But this guy deserves, this guy deserves to be a consistent All Big Ten first team, hands down. Like, we talk about snub, but talk about the snub with Kyle Halladay. This one is a true snub. Like, absolutely, time and time again. And then,
come on, media.
If he wins the Ray Guy Award, that is truly an opportunity to say the Big Ten is tripping right now with the voting process.
The media, coaches did vote in number one.
Coaches, obviously, because they're on the field, they get it, they understand it. I am not trying to disrespect the media, because we kind of are media as well, but they get it, they see it.
I didn't get a vote.
We're a different kind of media. We're different kind of media. We understand what's going on. Those guys is right for a living. Hey, look, we're out here trying to give the people the education that they want, that they need in order to grow this thing so that all the ship rises with the tide. That's all we're here for. I like what they said on the MSU Football. They said they call him a certified field flipper. That's
legit.
That's gangster.
Certified field flipper. Bryce. That's got a nice ring to it, don't it, gentlemen? Right. Moving on to Jacob Slade and Simeon Barrow. Honorable mention, coaches and media.
Slade would have been first team if he get hurt, clearly, or Xavier, in my opinion. Now,
X too.
X
got honorable mention media.
Look, X could have been. He put in a full out. I mean, the things he had to do coming back and playing with one leg. And that knee brace, is not built. And I think we've all, Jason, I don't know if you had to do them knee braces back in the day. We all had the Don Joy Boy boys,
That's all we have to wear.
Yeah. Now, could you imagine having to truly backpedal? I had to wear my senior year. I had to wear my senior year 2008. That thing sucks, man. And for him to come in, made an impact of just communication. That man was sticking. He made turnovers. That should have been more of a hey, because of your past years, let's get you at least a second team. But that guy deserves to, obviously, the honorable mention. Kudos to him from safety to safety. But he made a huge difference in turning the tide for our defense when we went on and beat Illinois, upset them. That's because his communication. He was the glue that we all needed from the senior leadership. And Wisconsin, and the senior leadership that he had. And the coaching piece, he needs to be honored bigger than an honorable mention, in my opinion.
Without question. I mean, X, you can't be a skilled player wearing them lineman braces. It's crazy, man. Moving on to the offense, Keon Coleman was third team.
You like that now, huh? Yeah, buddy, you like that now.
I love it. And Jaden Reed was second team.
Now, I think this needs to be flipped if we was going to obviously stand by this. But Keon put on – clearly you can't – you got Marvin Harrison Jr., hands down, respect given. That guy legit caught everything thrown to him. But Keon, if they would have targeted him more, this man could have been first team. That's my argument on that one. I
So
wanted
we
to
got
say
to get him the
yes.
ball more. Is that what you tell? Is that why I hear get the man the
You
ball
gotta
more?
Give the man the
give
We gotta,
the
the
damn
man
man, the
ball.
man got to
yeah,
get the ball a little bit more. Okay, a lot more.
Give the
a
man the
lot
damn
more,
ball.
a lot more.
I didn't see anybody over there in the boys in blue that can handle. They were scared to death.
Man,
Keon. They were
yeah. I
scared
don't
of
even
him.
want to talk, man. He I don't even want to talk about that other guy down the road, G squared. That he put that man in a body bag, yo. Like that was before the tunnel incident. So, but this man, time and time again, showed what he can do. And why would we not give him the ball? Why wouldn't we not say, hey, we're gonna guarantee you at least 12 touches, 12 passes? Like you got to go more than that. I was like, at least take the attention away from Jay Reed, so then Jay Reed can get busy. I think it was just or Trey Mosley. Like we had a committee that before we started the first episode, we talked about the trio of the receivers that we had we had a beastie receiver core in those three. And I feel like we just didn't tap into utilizing them and their skill set at the 100% capacity that we know that they could all three do collectively.
Yeah, don't forget Malik Carr either. That's a guy who isn't mentioned at all, but he had some beastly performances too at the tight end position. In case people wanted to go away from Keon Coleman, who did a phenomenal job.
But with Malik, I like Malik. All right, I like Malik Carr a lot. I think he's going to be special. He's going to be something special, real good tight end here. What I want to see that man throw some gloves, get a little swag going there, because he. I'm just saying that's what I want to see, because you know what Coach Prime
he can't do the Cal Holiday.
No, he can't do the Cal Holiday, man. The brother got to be out there with gloves on, put some, tape on, look good. Like Coach Prime said, you look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good.
I mean, that boy got that WWE NIL deal already because he's a physical specimen, as you like.
He got that. Yeah, but play in the league first, then hit that WWE.
There you go.
Throw some gloves on. But he did make a hell of a one-handed catch at Penn State, though.
You like how he posted him up on the left hand? I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, but you got to think of it's consistency with probably like, can you stay on the field multiple plays in series where you had a committee of tight ends where none of them truly could get a momentum or a mojo going. Like, so you got to block.
Why is that, Otis? Why?
Why? You tell me.
Why?
You tell me.
I see a committee of tight ends down there in Athens, Georgia. They got a committee. Yeah, they about 17 5-stars down there playing tight end. All of them get the ball.
They passing that rock, though. That's why they are targeting.
Yeah.
That boy sharing that rock equally, too. Like, it ain't no, like, target one, I'm going to lock on you. No, it's the progression is real down there. And, I mean, Penn State showed it, too. Like, they got a committee.
Yes.
So it's we got to find the glue that that we can get these guys going, especially Malik Carr.
Let's move it along. We got two old linemen now. We got to give the linemen some love too. J.D. McClain and Nick Samac, both honorable mention, offensive line, all Big Ten. And Samac, center. Made some plays out there, man. Those are two seniors. Samac out of Ohio, both of them out of Ohio. Made some plays down there, man. I mean, look, I think Samac is the guy that's going to get a shot at the next level. Both of them. Very decent players.
I really like I believe it was the Wisconsin game, the progression of the offensive line. They started to get more in rhythm. They started to find that stride. That's when we started to run for, have 100-yard rushers again. I think, another year of cohesiveness and chemistry, those guys are going to start mauling. And, congrats to those guys. Congrats to everybody. Honorable mention, first team, second team, and third team. Spartan Dogs representing. We're proud of you, boys. Keep rolling.
All right, guys. We're going to get into our next segment where we're going to have our special guest, 247's own Corey Robinson, joins us after this message from IHOP.
'Twas a wintry day, and at IHOP quite soon, hot cinnamon apples would be coaxed with a spoon on the fluffiest French toast with red currants on top. We wish you a happy holiday, only at IHOP. New Ginger Snap Apple French Toast, part of our new holiday menu. Try all 3 flavors.
All righty. Man, I'm hungry already, man.
I was going to say the same thing.
I'm more excited about our guest that we have right now. That's Corey Robinson, who joins us right now live from somewhere in the bunker, studying the transfer portal, high school recruiting, everything that is recruiting for Michigan State. Welcome to the show. This is Sparta. Corey Robinson. How you doing, bud?
Good. Thanks for having me on. We've been trying to plan this for a while, and good that we can finally make this happen.
Absolutely. It's time for you, man. This is like the hot season.
This is when you shine, huh? You shine bright like a diamond, Corey.
You know, the page turns over to Corey Robinson. What's going on out here, man?
The end season. This is my end season.
100%. You know, we talk about like there's a lot of topics to cover when you talk about what coaches have to deal with in today's recruiting. And you have recruiting, the high school team players, those guys. You have the portal that you have to go out there and find players. You also have to protect your players in the roster management side of it all. Corey, like, how does all that intermingle and work together in concert, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find out. This is honestly the first time that everything is hit at once. I mean, you just finished your regular season. Transfer portal opens up on December 5th officially. You get December 21st is the early signing period for the high school players. And then you got the coaching carousels all over the country going around. So this, I guess, I don't even really know what's totally in store or what a new normal for December is going to look like. It's just going to be wild is all I know, and not a lot of sleep for me.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
My question to this, Corey, is how does this, especially with the position Michigan State's in right now, could get an at-large bowl bid, with the transfer portal opening up at in 4 days here. How does that affect bowl season and bowl selection?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was a bowl committee, I think that's something I would look at is the players that have left already. And then, like you say, you look at Michigan State, you've only lost Jack Stone, the kicker, who is probably not going to play football beyond this unless the right opportunity comes along. That's just kind of the word out on the street is that he's actually going to step away from football. So I think them not having guys leave probably makes them more attractive to both that are looking around for those last couple spots where Michigan State would fall into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Corey, you gotta shed some light behind the scenes for people who are tuning in and who really don't know the details and the severity of like what recruiting truly entails. So at the end of the season, we played Penn State. Obviously, you've been tracking along and seeing all the trends and all the flips and the commitments here and there. But we all know a commitment doesn't mean a thing until you sign on the dotted line. But kind of bring Spartan Nation into behind the scenes, behind the curtain on what is your full day-to-day like right now as you start to prepare for, this month.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're getting back to that point where like you're almost scared to hop in the car or go to sleep because you think you're going to miss something. So that keeps the adrenaline going. But because, I mean, all of this stuff, there's been so many times where I'd be like, all right, I think it's 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, nothing's going to happen. And then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up and some kid decided like that was the time that he was going to make his announcement in the middle of the night. So then you got to get everything rolling with that when you don't get the heads up on it because sometimes they just happen. Luckily, I got a pretty good team with me at 24/7, so we're pretty good at getting alerts before things happen. But every now and then, even we still get surprised. But yeah, it's a whole lot different ball game now because it's still the relationships, it's still opportunity, all that stuff that you guys made your decisions on in college. But with the NIL now, and all the tampering that's happening around the country. Like, I mean, at this point, if you're not doing it, then you're not trying. So, yeah, it's just a wild time. And I think you see maybe some coaches, if it doesn't get under control with the NCAA, I wonder how many of them end up just going to the NFL where they don't have to deal with all of the side shows, and they actually have rules in place of what's legal and what you can do and what's tampering and what's not. So yeah, I think we're at a different place in college football. I mean, you look down at Texas A&M, who spent I think $32 million for that 2022 class, and you're starting to see guys, after them still not getting it done on the field, they're starting to leave now, taking that money and heading out to another school they want. So that's going to be another precautionary tale for the donors that want to buy a championship, like you're seeing down in Miami, where Jason's really familiar with what's going down there with having his son down at IMG. So I mean, a lot of buyer's remorse.
Whoa! Wait, now, I don't know. Hold on now. Whoa!
I think I just broke the U right on the screen.
Come on, man. We ain't doing. Listen, that's his life. This is my life. I'm Spartan for life. And you know, to your point, when you brought up something called tampering. Now, when you talk about that, like, what are the rules associated with how schools are allowed to communicate with players before or after they get into the portal, and how does that work with NIL?
Yeah, well, before they're not technically able to, but obviously that's happening all over the country.
How does it happen?
Coaches know coaches or players. So, like, maybe you had a past relationship with a kid that you recruited in high school, so you know his high school coaches or his someone in his family or whatever, and you just kind of have those connections loosely in the background that messages can get sent back and forth of what someone is thinking or not thinking. So yeah, just kind of gauging interest. And like, I mean, for us, even before this year, where I think it's even wilder with that, like Jamison Williams down in Alabama, like you see him hop in, and then you start asking people in your industry, in my industry, around, like, oh, does he got anyone? And like, oh, he's going to Alabama. So I mean, it was like decided before it happened. Same with their running back that they got, Jahmyr Gibbs. He was a guy that would have obviously looked great in a Michigan State uniform, but it's the same deal where that was done before he ever officially went in. So yeah, it's definitely not legal. But as you guys have been around college football, you know that there's always, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Is how it goes. And if you want to be successful, you just got to do what you got to do and not get caught.
Wow, would you look at that?
So
I can't believe my ears. What did you just hear? What he just said, fellas?
Yeah.
Somehow these guys.
I love your sarcasm.
I'm just saying. Hey, he's staying. He ain't going. He loyal. Okay. Did you say William? He left. Where did you say Williams? Where did he leave to go to Alabama?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Are they any good?
We talk about here now.
Decent.
Yeah,
I'm just asking. I'm just saying. Was the guy at a place that was any good? Did they have a track record for putting receivers into the NFL?
Yep.
And where did he go? He left. Guys, I'm saying this is something that we gotta, as a society.
It's a total different player, yo. Like, come on, man.
Did Keon Coleman?
Yeah. That's even
Keon
like with
Coleman's
my job
confirmed,
too.
man.
Now is like with recruiting, I can't talk as indefinite as I did back then either, because I could know everything about a recruitment that I need to know, but then somebody comes in with an NIL opportunity, as they like to call them, and everything changes. It's
Corey,
getting to be
we
kind of like
basketball.
basketball.
We call them bags, Corey.
Yeah.
That's what Jehuu and Otis knows.
Yeah. So I mean, like now you see like Michigan down the road there, they just lost their top commit, a defensive end to Miami, and they're 12-0 going into the playoffs as long as
It's
they
a
don't
commit,
drop the
Stray. It's
thing.
not, he
And
wasn't there.
it's just like if you're choosing a 5-7 Miami over 12-0, I mean, that's
That
just
makes
a
no
different world.
sense to me. That one right there made the 6'8" kid from I think he's from West Africa, but he lives out in California in the Trinity
Yeah.
League.
West
You
Africa,
know,
baby. Represent.
Yeah, Santa Margarita High School.
NIL makes
How
it
do you decommit from Michigan after the performance they just put on Ohio State? As a defensive lineman.
Yeah. And they just have the defensive lineman of the year, the Big Ten.
Quinny.
Yeah, so I mean,
and last year too.
Yeah, he's
absolutely.
a Liberian. He's from Liberia.
Yeah,
Liberia, what's up?
Yeah.
So Corey, I got a question. My question for you is, now with the NIL and the recruiting from the high school level, these kids, getting shown, private jets, getting money, getting all this stuff. There's with Michigan State, what is it going to? Is there a chance that kid from King Moore could be flipped to Michigan State, especially now that the OC from Oregon's going to Arizona State?
Ooh, oh boy, we getting into it. Let's dive into this.
Yeah, I do think Kenny Dillingham getting the job at Arizona State was one of those dominoes that had to happen for this to even get really serious for them to have a shot at flipping him. Obviously, it's still an uphill battle, and you're going to get other teams that try to get involved with you. But I think Michigan State, they have a shot, yes. Would I put my house on the line that they get them? No. But like you say, it's like all you need to do is have that one business owner that's tied to Michigan State that says, this kid, I need to make this kid a Spartan, and make him that offer that he can't refuse. Because I know coming out of his high school, Michigan State was actually very high on his list when he chose Oregon. We had been at his press conference, and a lot of his coaches and family were saying that they were surprised Michigan State took Bo Edmondson at the time when they did, because they were seriously considering Michigan State and saw them as a spot. So I guess now Edmondson is gone, and his offensive coordinator at Oregon's gone. So now we're kind of back to square one again with it, with 2-3 weeks before signing day, and he's a kid that's going to enroll early. So this would be something that could happen quick, where if Michigan State's able to get the job done and land Dante Moore, he's going to be on campus before the end of the month.
So does it mean anything that he took his commitment to Oregon off his bios and stuff like that? Does that mean anything these days, or is it just mainly he's
on Twitter?
Yeah, off his Twitter bio.
I think it gives people something to talk about, and he that's the way I look at it. And we talk in the background a lot of stuff with people, and I'm like, he didn't just learn how to do business. Like, so even if Kenny Dillingham never left, all of that stuff, it didn't make sense for him to not give Michigan State interest, because all that's going to do is create, yesterday's price isn't today's price necessarily. So, that's just good for business to want to hear what Michigan State has, or what Ohio or Oregon wants to say, because that's only going to make your NIL deal better. So he's a good businessman, not new to it. So where he goes, he's gonna get a good deal and get taken care of. I mean, whether that's Michigan State, Oregon, or somewhere crazy jumps in with an offer you can't refuse.
Do you think the season that Michigan State had hurt the chance of them coming, or no?
No, I think stuff like that. I always say that hurts the fans or the media that have to sit up there and watch it from time to time. I think a bad season is more, detrimental to those type of people, where you guys, when you came in to Michigan State as a high school player, you knew, you had that confidence in yourself that you were going to be the one that's going to start and break these records, play in the NFL like you guys did. So like you guys probably felt the same way, where you looked at an opportunity. Like Dante Moore can say, okay, they have Peyton Thorne coming back most likely. You can never say never in this era, but he could say, all right, I can come in here and kind of do what they do down the road, where I get some snaps as a freshman and kind of learn under him and ease my way in and take over for 2 years as a starter here. But you know, all these guys have so much confidence in themselves as saying that they could be the guy that takes Michigan State to the championships that Mel Tucker talks about all the time.
Yeah, when you think about it historically, like I feel like every other program besides us has started a true freshman quarterback. And I guess the question is, why is that, Corey? On, you know, why are we so hesitant to give the ship or give the keys to a true freshman and let the chips fall where they may, and say, hey, we're going to live and die by some freshness and new energy and a freshman quarterback coming in? You know, why is that? Do you know, you've covered us for a while. You know, can you harp on that? And do you think that, you know, Dante Moore has that skill set after, you know, seeing him play, you know, for 4 years at Detroit King to come in and be a full starter coming right in?
Yeah, I think to get Dante Moore, like there's going to have to be some, hey, we're going to give you a legitimate shot to play as a true freshman. I think there is going to have to be some of that in the recruiting pitch. And I think Michigan State would be willing to at least, you know, whether it's maybe not starting, but at least getting snaps and then see where that takes you. Just like some of the other schools, JJ McCarthy, stuff like that at Michigan. As far as Michigan State doing it, I think some of it, like maybe next year, like I think Peyton Thorne you bring back regardless, because as you guys have all seen, there's not a lot of happy people with a 5-7 season. So there is a little bit of heat and pressure on Mel Tucker in the Michigan State program. So you almost want to have that safety net of your worst case scenario is you're bringing back a 3-year starter and Peyton Thorne with some guys in the background. But maybe I guess the best answer is maybe Michigan State hasn't gotten a player of his caliber that was ready to play as a true freshman, like some of those other schools, like a Caleb Williams who was at Oklahoma and now at USC. Like he's just a different level. And I think Dante Moore is a guy that he's prepared enough mentally to go along with his physical tools that he could come in here and actually take the job and win the job if it was given the opportunity. Because that's the thing too, is you look at all these quarterbacks in the country, they all have great highlights because you'll never see their bad plays.
Right.
True.
But Dante Moore, he's a little bit different in between the ears. Like he really understands it. He gets it. He's got a bunch of different arm slots that he gets the ball out, like Patrick Mahomes and some of those other guys. So he's kind of a total package quarterback, and that's what makes him special. And I think the number 2 player in the country for us at 24/7 sports. So yeah, like he would come here and he would have a shot to play as a true freshman because he's good enough.
Okay, so my question to you is, okay, let's just say Moore goes to Oregon and Michigan State does not make a move in the transfer portal for a quarterback or anything like that. Is Peyton Thorne the guy starting next year, or is there someone else, possibly Noah Kim, that could possibly beat him out?
Yeah, I think you absolutely bring Thorne back, but I think you also bring him back with the I guess the message that this is completely wide open for Caden Hauser, the true freshman this year. Noah Kim, who he got a couple snaps and looked good. I mean, 5-7 is not good enough to lock down the quarterback position to me. So that's got to be open for me if I'm the offensive coordinator and head coach. I don't think Thorne didn't do enough to lose the job, but he didn't do enough to just hand it to him for a third year. I think winter conditioning, spring ball, and then even those early game reps against some of the lesser opponents, it needs to be a competition because I know before I came on the show, I was listening to you guys about Keon Coleman needing more targets, but I think he probably got overthrown more than any wide receiver in the country this year. And Keon Coleman's a big guy that can jump high, so it's not easy to overthrow him. And a lot of that stuff was on just easy throws that he's got to make 10 out of 10 times. So to me, I think it's got to be an open competition at the very least.
You know, you bring up a great point. You talk about like Dante Moore. In my opinion, no question, his talent, physical talent, there's no doubt that he is a guy who can start as a true freshman, the Big Ten level or any level of college football. You know, when you look at guys like Bryce Young, right? You know, now this is a guy who I spoke to my old coach, Nick Saban, and he's telling me that was the most prepared freshman that he's ever had. And he didn't start as a true freshman. He's a guy who, you know, I mean, he had some issues sitting on the bench for the first time in his life as a redshirt freshman, watching, you know, a player in front of him perform. But when he was able to come in and start as a redshirt freshman the second year, he comes in and wins the Heisman Trophy. Do you think there's any value in a guy like Dante Moore coming to Michigan State, you know, and sitting behind whomever is the starter, which is a little different than a guy like Caden Hauser? Caden Hauser was from the same area in California as Bryce Young was from, but Caden Hauser was a guy that didn't start. He shared time in high school with a guy on his own high school team. I think that many Spartans don't know or understand that part of it. He shared snaps as a high school senior with someone else. Dante Moore, all the way through, he's been the man at Detroit King, Martin Luther King High School, and won multiple state championships. So is there any value in a guy like Dante Moore coming to Michigan State and watching a guy like maybe Peyton Thorne, I don't know if it's Noah Kim or whomever, Caden Hauser, and absorbing what he can, and then a year from then unleashing the beast?
Yeah, I think you can get value out of it because if you're doing that, then you can work on all the extra things. Like maybe, I mean, I guess maybe for the quarterback it's not as important, but like some of those guys, you know, you could, if you know you're not going to play and you're redshirting, you can hit the weight harder, or, you know, you can spend more time in the playbook and just kind of watching it and seeing the speed firsthand. Because, I mean, the college game, as you guys know, is a huge jump up in speed and all of that. So I guess being on the sidelines, you would be able to see that and take it in. And then, too, with the red shirt rule where you can get into 4 games and keep your red shirt, I think even if that's what it came to, where you played him in 4 games, you know, not starting necessarily, but you get in, get your reps, get some throws, let him actually run the offense, and then you cut it off at 4 games, you know, then you got your feet wet and you kind of got that learning opportunity from sitting out there and watching.
You know, we were remiss if we didn't talk about some of the high school guys that are on the board, Corey. Stanton Ramel, is it Ramel or Ramil? The guy who's committed to Michigan State, playing in the state championship game right now this season, this weekend.
Yeah, he's Wednesday night championship down in Alabama. It's weird. Like I actually thought it was this Saturday, just out of habit. Like that's when you would play a championship game. I believe they're actually going for their 4th state championship in a row at Thompson down there. He plays for one of the best programs in Alabama, obviously, playing for the state championship and winning multiple ones. I think he's a guy that, you know, he's obviously a popular name for other teams trying to get him. He's saying all the right things to the Michigan State coaches, you know, that he's committed, he's coming. But he's the one in the class on the offensive side of the ball that I think like he's the most key recruit that they have that they need to hold on to, because that's a guy that would make a huge impact on the offensive tackle position here at Michigan State. And he's probably a guy that I don't know that necessarily that he would play as a true freshman, because that's really hard on the offensive line. but he's a guy that could at least be in the conversation to do that. But yeah, he's a guy that can change your entire offensive line quickly because he's got that left tackle franchise type of ability to him and body type. So he's one that they really got to hold on to do whatever they got to do to make sure he signs on December 21st.
So Hugh Freeze, don't slide in the DMs, please. We ain't talking about please, baby, please.
If you own a business in East Lansing, that's your guy that you want.
Absolutely.
There you go, Corey.
Charlie Pumpkin. Charlie Pumpkin.
That's what I'm talking about. Reach out to the man. What you gonna say, Choo Choo?
I was just going to throw a pot shot at the lineman there, but
You're gonna throw a pot. See
I love
running backs is, man.
Listen. When I played running back at Michigan State, after games, obviously wins, I would give the linemen handwritten notes. I'll put in their lockers, thanking them for blocking. So don't come at me like I don't love the linemen. I love the big boys. Love the big boys.
No pot shots then.
None.
No pot shots.
My question.
Go ahead.
My question to Corey is something I'm interested in, and I'm sure people, working with 247 Sports, and how does the rating, the stars, how do you get stars? How do you become a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star? How do you get those?
I don't have anything to do with the stars, so no recruits hitting my DMs about what your star rating is. But a lot of it is we got a lot of evaluators that have been covering football for, in some cases, decades, where they just kind of go over the film. A lot of these kids go to camps. They'll take like the metrics that you'll see with the NFL draft, where the guys that are getting drafted there, they'll kind of like look at those type of metrics, whether it's the hand size, the athleticism, the power numbers, all that stuff. And they see where those type of guys were in high school, because now we're at the point where, with all the technology that we can track what Jehuu Caulcrick did on the triple jump in high school, and see all of these things and just kind of build a prototype for what you're looking for in a player, and as you guys know, it's not an exact science, because a lot of these guys, they don't play each other. And if they do, it's in shorts, because you have rules where you can't have the helmets and pads in the summertime with a lot of the states like Michigan. So they don't get to match up. So there's some guesswork to it, but there's a lot of scientific stuff that guys much smarter than me use to come up with these rankings, and we're always going to miss just because there's so many people coming from so many different areas, and kids' bodies change. Like, you get those guys that peak in 9th or 10th grade that get a high ranking because they dominate at these camps and they're making plays as freshmen, but maybe some of those guys don't progress as they go, where you get another guy that comes in senior year and maybe he grew 4 inches or finally was able to start putting on weight and muscle and completely elevates the type of player that he's going to become.
And guys, don't DM Corey and try to tell him to get your star rating up, because I do it all the time. I try to get my star rating up. I didn't have a star when I was coming out of high school, and he can't do nothing for me. So if he can't do nothing for me, he definitely can't do nothing for me, guys.
You didn't have a star. You didn't have a star. What you have? What did you have?
Top 50, baby. That's it.
Ooh.
That's it. That's all I had.
Indy's finest.
That's all I had, Otis. So, but
yeah, that's what's weird looking back. Even like in 2000, if you go pull up 24/7 and look at the Michigan State team rankings, like you would have like Charles Rogers or Jeff Smoker. They would be like the 5 stars or whatever. But then you would have like these really good players that at the time you knew they were good players in the high school ranking, but they didn't even have a star because we just didn't give them out back in then in the industry that much, outside of like the parade All-Americans almost.
The parade.
So it's come a long ways. Now you got guys with stars that don't even have a number ranking next to them, just because it's easier to kind of see stuff and try to huddle and social media and all that.
Like what you just said, you talked about tracking and, you know, like looking at what Jehuu Caulcrick was when he was a freshman and how he progressed, and then you match that up because it's not an exact science. And I know you guys get a lot of criticism because a lot of the 5-stars from yesteryear, you talk about 2005 and 10 and 15, may not have panned out, but you definitely are getting better at like how you guys are evaluating talent. My question is, why don't you ask guys like Otis Wiley and Jehuu Caulcrick like what the best players are? Just ask them. They know. They like why don't the powers that be consult with former players that know without bias, like, you know, who is good and who's not?
I think the good ones do. They just might not give Otis and Jehuu and Jason credit for it. But I know, like in the Midwest, Alan True, he's very good at his job. He's one of the biggest reasons why I came to 24/7 Sports was him.
We love Alan True,
and like he definitely, like, he'll even listen to me a little bit every now and then with guys. But we'll talk about, you know, hey, what feedback did you get on this? And he might say that, hey, I talked to this guy who used to play, who's now coaching high school somewhere, and he kind of put me on to the guy and showed me his tape and kind of showed me testing numbers, videos of working out, stuff like that. So the good ones definitely are smart enough to use their resources. You guys just don't get a paycheck for it. You just
hey, I'm missing out on some revenue here, man. Right. I mean, I think it's having that golden eye of, you see the growth of a player, like you see the level that, you know, that if he continuously works at his craft, that you can develop him into a Jim Thorpe Award like Coach D did with, you know, Darquez Denard. And I feel like we're missing some guys that are falling out of the recruiting trail because they're not keen to the social media hype. And we're in this phase or this time of like, you got to have a hype video and social media following that, you know, that gets you the garner respect in the nation versus like, all right, can we find a 3-star kid or, you know, 2-star kid that, man, he's out there killing it. And we know that if we put the coaches into his corner and develop him, he will be a stud for us. I feel like we were having some of those kids that are falling by the wayside, and these COVID kids that, you know, had to truly take a seat back because of the portal really elevated, you know, guys that were truly in high school and having to play through COVID and not get the full chance like the other recruits they used to have in the past and that are having now.
Yeah, and I think too, like maybe it's just the stigma of everyone sees like 4 and 5 stars, but 3 stars across the country that you turn on the tape and you know they're good. And I mean, there's like different people giving out the stars where I think we can all agree that there's certain 3 stars in Georgia or Texas or some of those places where if they played up here in Michigan, they're a 4-star. So I mean, they're clearly not a worse player or a better player because of that. It's just kind of, you have different people giving ratings, I think, and then maybe a more watered down market where in Michigan you're not seeing, maybe you get 15, 20 kids that have a shot each year at playing Power 5. So it's a lot easier to kind of go through those lists and find those guys where down in Texas or Georgia, some of those other places, California, there's thousands of players that are just, you know, that you have to evaluate and find and trust the evals. So there's, like I said, that's how it's always going to be an inexact science. Where you see a sport like basketball, it's a lot easier because a lot of those guys play AAU against each other. So you get to see the top guys match up against each other, where in football, you don't necessarily get that unless you go to like IMG. Jason's familiar with, like, they play an insane schedule where they play some of the best teams, and there's some teams that they beat the brakes off of this year that have 6 high Power 5 players on the team, but they just get overrun by a team entire depth almost is Power 5. So
they're playing those ghost schools, right? Those schools.
Yeah, because
schools in Canada, that's Canadian schools.
I think Venice won the state championship down in Florida, and they had no chance against IMG. Like they couldn't even snap the ball and take 2 steps back before.
Straight acting like he coaches
IMG. Someone's on him.
Hey, Corey, you know who should win the national title? Miami Central.
Dude, I think it was. I can't remember the defensive end that they had. That dude was insane.
Oh, he's
against Muiaga too. So like you earned that. Like that's one of those times because like like if you guys played in high school and you were the best player on the field, and so like Otis is lined up outside, all of a sudden you got 3 guys defending you. So I mean IMG can almost do that to single out the best player of the other team, and that dude
was dominating. Yeah,
he's still dominated, and they didn't lose a game. They did beat IMG, and then now they were ranked 3rd. They're undefeated.
Yeah.
Mater Dei lost the game to Bosco, and Bosco lost to Mater Dei. But for some reason, Max Preps, I don't know why. I think that they may have an office in California or maybe be headquartered in California. Has them both 1 and 2, no matter what, with 1 loss, and then Miami Central's number 3.
Tampering.
Otis, who IMG be playing?
I mean,
the ghost face killers.
You know what kills me? Like I'm gonna say this right here, right now. You know what kills me is that because Otis, you was in the IHSAA. You were in the IHSAA just last year, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Some dudes in Indiana too.
Oh, some dudes,
some
absolutely.
Dudes.
And Choo Choo, we was down there out in New York, where all them ballers are out there. You know, he had guys like
we played against Mike Hart.
Mike Hart came out of in the Billy. What are the two boys from Michigan State? Billy and Green. Come on, man. Scott and Billy Green from your same hood.
Oh boy.
All these guys, right? So put that aside.
I just want to know who IMG be playing.
What's crazy is that Bishop Sycamore gave him a better game than that Canadian team.
It was a better game.
It was.
Hey, you had your you had Jehuu Choo Choo's grandpappy on that squad.
The grandpappy?
Hey,
what's your grandpappy say?
Hey, my man was birth certificate was
what's your grandpappy say?
Find it. That's crazy, yo.
So, with all the transfer portal stuff and transferring and, taking that bag and not coming back, my grandpappy would say, be careful of the foot you step on because it could be connected to the leg and the butt that you have to kiss down the road.
Hey, mic drop. Hey, I honestly, we have to bring Corey back on.
Oh yeah,
consistently, because we could talk. I could talk for hours about recruiting.
Right.
Obviously, this should be like a 3-hour show.
This is
seriously.
I think we need to set times and have him back like once a week.
Bring him off. Hey, when the portal opens up December 5th, we got to bring him back. We coming back.
Yeah, because with the portal too, like I can't put a whole lot of names out there. Otherwise, I'll have Michigan State coaches coming at me because like that's secretive. Like that's like getting a kicker or a punter. Like they don't want you to say their name until they're literally about to send their commitment video out. Like, and that's kind of how the same thing is the portal. I think it's starting to get a little bit more mainstream. Like Dante Thornton, I can say that name, the wide receiver out of Oregon, 6'5" guy, because his name's been put out there by other people where he's a guy that Michigan State's in on. Obviously, they're going to have competition with some other stuff, but that dude's legit.
So, Corey, you're just sitting on some juice right now that you can't even say nothing about, huh? We need to get.
We can't get Corey X'd out of our program now. Like,
this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do to Corey. We need to take Corey out for some drinks.
That's what. And then my sources are telling me,
because my grandpappy would say, three people tell the truth: kids, drunks, and angry people.
That's it. That is it, man. Let me look. This is beautiful. We have to, like, I mean, look, man. There's so many high school players we didn't get a chance to get to, like Jalen Barberin. We got Eric Singleton. We got Ked Roscano. We got Isaiah Johnson. We got a lot of guys, man. We got a lot of guys that we want to cover.
Yeah, that Barbarian, he's 10.37, 100 meter.
Woo!
Like, he's a smaller guy.
He's a 3-star.
Yeah, he missed most of his junior year with an injury, and he's kind of come on stronger the senior year. So it's one of those things where having the extra room in the class kind of worked in a favor, because they were able to kind of mine and find some of those kids that blew up a little bit more in their senior year. So yeah, and like him,
can he play? Does he play both sides? Can he play corner too?
I think he's pretty much just a running back. I think he plays corner, but 5'9" is too small for Tucker there. But he's a guy that, like, at worst, he's gonna be a good punt returner if he was to come here, because he's got that quick, shifty thing. He's got the thicker thighs that you want in a running back, as Jehuu would know.
Jehuu would know.
But so he's shifty. He's a guy that, at worst, he's gonna play or have a shot to make an impact as a punt returner, which is big. And on offense, he's a guy that you kind of get outside the tackles. Maybe you line him up in the slot every now and then and get creative just to get him the space and let that 10.37 speed go to work if he finds a crease. And then Singleton, the little wide receiver, he's the same. He's one of those quick little slot guys that I think Michigan State, as much as they're doing, I think speed is where they still need to get a little bit better on both sides of the ball, kind of get those game-breaking speed type of guys that can get one touch and change it. I think Singleton and Barbarian are those type of guys where they can scoot and kind of all they need is that one block and they can take it.
So I'm seeing, Michigan State, Minnesota, West Virginia, Kansas State, and what is it that Western Kentucky has that he's committed there? Like, what's the?
He's been committed to them since the summer. So some of those offers have come back or since that.
Okay.
And Jehuu, you gotta realize how close Douglasville, like Georgia, is to Western Kentucky. Like, I mean,
it's they're a good small school too, where they find those little guys that can run and.
Well, you get time for the
crazy offense.
What's Western Kentucky? The Leathernecks, or the?
I don't even know.
Or the
Hilltoppers.
The Hilltop, yeah. You know what? Time for that.
They almost put an L on us now. Come on now. Back when we played.
That was y'all.
That was me. I ain't played on. You feel me?
We gotta school these guys. Hey, Corey, look.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your time, man. I mean, this is crazy. Fun. We got to bring you on, like, we're gonna have you on here like every couple of weeks, because there's a lot of stuff we got to figure out here, like as far as the portal's concerned.
Yeah, Corey, you got to also tell us
before the signing day.
But you cannot tell us, because we gonna push you. We gonna push you.
December 20th. We got to figure out. I don't know where that date is, but we got to have a show there.
We doing.
I think the 20th, I think, is like a Tuesday or something. I'm thinking signing day is Wednesday, but I'm not 100% on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Let me see.
Yeah, Pete said Tuesday.
Hey.
No, 21st is a Wednesday.
Yeah, 21st is signing day. That's a Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, 20th is a Tuesday. So we're gonna have you on the 20th, and we're gonna let it all hang out then.
Yeah, have me make all my predictions and then
all
drop
predictions.
NIL bags.
There's gonna be flips, hats changing. You know, you gonna have what's his name, Travis Henry and them, the guy from that went to Jackson State that did the Florida State with Deion and them. He gonna go with Deion, obviously.
Deion might not even be there. Deion might not even be there.
Man, Deion's not going to go Colorado, yo.
No, he's in for
offers. He is, yes, that too. But
Cincinnati, Colorado. He was at Auburn, but you know they ain't gonna take him at
South Florida was in it too.
South Florida, see?
South Florida.
The one I don't get, though, is why did Georgia Tech not go after him? You put Deion Sanders in Atlanta.
It makes no sense. Well, you know why?
That's literally your only chance to get him.
What Georgia coach you seen look like Deion?
Technical school now.
The technical difficulties with that one.
And their quarterback just left anyway.
Yeah, that to me, that's insane that they didn't go after him.
Well, it's also a combo package, right?
That could make you relevant.
He's taking his son with him. That's a combo package.
Both his sons.
Oh man, everybody coming.
And Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Man, hey.
That was a big miss to me if I'm from the outside looking in.
Man, let me tell you, Corey, man, you have done a phenomenal job. People don't really know how valuable is this guy. He knows. He knows more than people think he knows because he's connected. He's connected to the program. He's connected to the players. Connected to the players' parents. And if you don't know, recruiting at its root form starts not only at the coach and player level, but it really is at the family level. And Corey, he's family. He's family to us. He's family to everybody. And that's why he is in the know. He's not going to throw anybody under the bus. Neither are we. And we really appreciate you coming on our show, This is Sparta, to spend some time with us, Corey.
Thanks a lot. You guys have me on anytime. I'm definitely willing, and it's good to kind of come on your guys' show because, I grew up in this area, so I watched all you guys play at Michigan State. So to be able to be on your show and interact with you guys is also a good opportunity for me and unique to kind of getting in this business, getting to meet all of the players that I grew up watching.
So I heard you say it's a regular segment. Twice a week.
That's what you heard him say.
That's what I heard him say. Awesome.
And by the way, anybody who's watching live, click the thumbs up or subscribe. Do both so we can continue bringing you this.
Tell your mama and them to subscribe.
Tell them. Get to it. We keep bringing people like Corey on.
Hey, Otis, one more time.
The grandpa.
Who did I play?
Ghost face killers.
I mean, Corey, they're convinced. They're convinced that I don't know. I don't know what they think.
Oh, we just talked about that. We just talked about that incident because that was obviously that was tragedy, but it's still that Corey you showed us this season
96.
Oh my God!
In one half.
We appreciate you, Corey.
Absolutely, Corey.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Go green, Corey. Go green.
Hopefully in the near future, the very near future. Thank you, Corey.
All right. Thank you.
Guys, I mean, look, real quick, before we end this show, we have to definitely go over to Caesar's house. You ever know who Caesar is? Caesar Sportsbook, man. We're going to go to his crib, man, and see how things are going. Come on. Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Look at that, man. The Wolverines -17 over the Boilermakers. Let me tell you, the Boilermakers are
the Spoilermakers.
The
Boilermakers. Thank you, Jehuu.
And hey, look, this is a home game. You feel me? These Boilermakers, they will show up and they showing out. It's been a long time coming, and these boys is ready to rock in that Lucas Oil. It's gonna be a game that is gonna be an expected. Oh, Michigan's coming in 12-0, but these boys coming in ready to rock too. So it's gonna be interesting on Saturday.
Let's put that graphic back up there.
Yeah, let's put it back up there.
Yeah, I'm taking them points. 17? I'm taking them points.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
That
a lot
is.
for Boilermakers.
And I'm taking the points, and I'm taking the under.
Oh, the under. Look, if you don't know Boilermakers, their history is upsetting top 5 teams.
Man, listen.
That's all they do.
They smacked us last year, yo.
Bro, they upset 2 top 5 teams last year.
Hey, I got 2 players I coached that's on that Purdue squad. You got Gus Hartwick at the offensive lineman out of Zionsville, Indiana. And then you got Trey Firestone, Zionsville receiver, prefer walk-on, but that boy is cold-blooded too. But these boys in Indiana, man, they're West Lafayette. You're going to hear that Boilermaker choo-choo train a couple times.
Or just drum. Or just drum.
Or that drum. Yeah, they got turf now. They can use it, man. It's not going to tear up the turf.
Money line.
Yeah,
also,
this is good.
What else we got? We got the SEC championship game. Oh my goodness!
My Lance.
Look at that.
I'm taking straight across Georgia Bulldogs, giving them dogs minus 17 and a hook.
And is that right?
Yes.
Man, look. See, these are the only 2 teams, Michigan and Georgia, that can lose this game
and still get stuff for. Yeah.
And still make it.
Now LSU they win. They don't have no chance getting the 4 because that loss at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
No, they got no shot.
They're out. They're out.
No shot.
They're out. So when they got nothing to lose, man. This is obviously a better bowl game New Year's Day, but they got to stop that quarterback, man, because I seen him in person. Once he gets going, and he showed it against us when we played Arizona State. Once he gets going, Jaden Daniels, yeah. Once he gets going, it could be a problem. But Georgia, they'll play around you for that first quarter, but then just bulldog you for the rest of the 3 quarters.
Man, Jaden Daniels, there's a guy right there, guys, that was in the transfer portal just a year ago, just so you guys know. And him and his lovely mother were shopping things around. And guess where he went? He goes to LSU, and he was on the cusp of getting to the college football playoffs. Beat Alabama, had some great wins, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. Tennessee. They beat Florida. Yeah. This will be a good one for half the first quarter.
How about the Big 12?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Ooh, listen, man.
I'm not sold on Kansas State, so I think I'm gonna be, I'm going with the Horned Frogs, giving them frogs.
Hey, the Horned Frogs has been battle tested when we saw them running on the field with that field goal to win the game because they almost lost that one and spoiled their whole season. But it always turns out if it's an offensive battle and ain't no defense happening, this is going to be a high-scoring game from both sides. But, Jehuu, what you say?
This is where chaos can happen.
This could be
This is where chaos can happen. Right here, you talk about TCU, and then the next graphic we're going to bring up here, which is USC. USC, see the combined spreads on those 2 games is about 6 points. The combined spread. Utah, USC already lost to Utah. They've had trouble with these physical teams. And I know they have the magician at quarterback, Caleb Williams. We know TCU is a big play threat. They're a tough team. But look, man, what if USC and TCU lose? We've got mayhem in college football.
Let's hope for that.
You want to put the sweat on the committee, huh?
Yes, I want to make them do their job.
So want to make sure when you place your bets, please don't lose the house, don't mortgage, don't do nothing that we wouldn't do. Be responsible. You got the Clemson Tigers in North Carolina. I feel like this is just Clemson's going to win this game.
Yeah. Clemson will win. I don't know about that. That's a big spread though. 7.5.
I agree. I'll go under. I'll take the under.
You take the under and the points. So
Yeah.
you want North Carolina and the under.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll remind. Hey, look. Always do what you do in a responsible manner. Look, it's been a great show, Otis.
Absolutely. I know we ran long, but it was some great content, great conversations. Like I said, behind the curtain, people don't realize recruiting is the lifeblood of everyone's program, and the science, the algorithms, everything that goes down to it, to the nitty-gritty, until you sign on the dotted line. It is a journey, and it is stressful. So we got to put some prayers up to the big man for our program and Coach Tucker, as this is where he truly shines in the roster management and recruiting. So I'm looking to see what this is going to be. An eventful December. It's going to be a very eventful, Stray.
Without question, man. I mean, thank you for coming on the show and helping out with this, Otis. I mean, as you do, always a phenomenal job. Choo Choo is now off into Never Never Land in Liberia / Buffalo / Canada. And he's coming back.
I heard everything y'all was saying.
Back
He just had me backstage. I was in timeout.
okay, he's backstage.
I was in timeout.
Hey, we're just handling the business as you do your thug thizzle. But like, hey, we appreciate everybody. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up or that subscribe button if you're watching this show live. We need that in order for you to continue to have this show live and for free. We like free. Everybody loves free. And we're going to bring it to you. Jehuu, thank you for being you. Special thanks to Corey Robinson and 247 Sports. Also, Pete Menez, who does this thing. Tony Costello, Alicia Strayhorn, Cecily, thank you. Everybody who's in the background doing a lot of work for us. We love that. And all of our sponsors. And until next time, everybody, have a good night. God bless and go green.
Go white.
White.